Hello again everybody, Joe with Flysimware Simulation Software here for part 2, video number 2 in our MU-2B training series for the Flysimware MU-2 for FSX and Prepared. So video number 2, we're going to cover the engine start procedure. As far as the start locks are concerned, if you have any questions about that, you can see the start lock tutorial video for the 441 Conquest on this channel. They function the same way. Or after you purchase the product, you can press Shift 4. Had to double check that one, couldn't remember off the top of my head. Shift 4, and that will bring up right in Flight Simulator a quick little explanation of the start lock procedures and how they work. Just remember, if you're not on the start locks, you can't start the engines, they won't start. So we're going to do our engine start tutorial video. As you can see, the hangar is empty. We got the MU-2 out on the ramp. And this video, really quick, we are using a different MU-2 from the intro video. So we'll head out on the ramp here. So this is another marquee that will come with your package in Flight Simulator, another MU-2B-60 marquee. This is 130 Mike Sierra. This aircraft in real life is owned by Mr. David Klain. And Dave served as our one of our technical advisors and a incredible wealth of knowledge and resources in terms of pictures, videos, sound recordings. Dave spent, I'm guessing, countless hours getting resources from his personal aircraft for us for the project. So this second video in the training series I'd like to dedicate to Mr. Klain and say thank you for all of the help that you delivered with this project, and it just couldn't have come to fruition without your help and your input. So from myself and Mark Taylor, we say thank you for everything you did for us for the project. And rest assured, you will be getting serial number 1 by the time anybody is watching this video. The airplane's been released, so by that point Dave already has serial number 1. But so let's continue. We'll head around, we'll get all these sunshades and the inlet covers, chocks pulled, we'll get everything taken care of, get in the airplane, and we'll do our engine start. Okay, in the cockpit of the MU-2, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to walk you through the standard startup procedure. Again, if you go to our forums on the AvSim forums, we have a Flysimware official support forum. Somebody actually tracked down a POH that was uploaded in PDF format for the MU-2B-60 series airplane, and I wasn't even aware of the fact that it was out there, to be honest with you. I have a SimCom training manual for the NP, Solitaire, and Marquee, which served for our performance charts and to get the numbers right, things like that. But I was not aware of that fact that POH is out there. So if you want to use a real legitimate MU-2 checklist, then that's available on the Flysimware forums. But this will just be a basic walkthrough of the engine start procedure, what switches need to be where. This will get you off the ground, no pun intended, get you up to speed, get you going. But for those of you that really do like, flipping switches, the systems gurus, I know you're out there, that's why you guys love our products. You're going to want to check out the real-world checklist. But I'll explain to you briefly here how we get her going. So, battery switch, as I explained to you, is the key, not the red master switch, which is for the ground power. So the first thing we're going to do is flip on the battery. And we get our battery here, our gyros coming up. After the battery, we want to come up, turn on our beacon light, and you will hear the beacon, 2 beacons on the airplane, as I told you, one of which is right under the cockpit, so you can hear that running. So beacon lights on. We're going to come over to the engine panel here, in between the condition levers and the power levers, and we're going to move our run crank stop switches up to run. We're going to always start the right engine first, so we'll move the air start and safe switch over to the right side. Now the air start and safe switch is exactly what it says it is. The air start and safe switch has to be in the correct position for the engine start you're trying to perform. So for an air start, it's always going to be in the middle, and the middle also serves as the safe position on the ground. So if it's in safe, by that I mean in the middle, you will not be able to energize the starter generator for either engine, so you won't get a start on the ground without the switch in the appropriate position. So for the right start, we move it over to right-hand ground start, verify the SRL computers are turned on, and we're going to do our Nts check, just like I showed you guys in the 441. So once everything is in position, the unfeathering switches in the, or the unfeathering switch in the Conquest was a momentary contact switch that moved from left to right. It was a toggle switch that was spring-loaded in both directions. The MU2 has the same thing, but they're spring-loaded push buttons, and normally you would hold the unfeathering button and hold the start button at the same time. The problem is you only have one mouse in Flight Sim, so you really can't do that. So the start buttons are spring-loaded the way they are. You're going to have to hold those down to 10% or hold them down until you get a light off. But the unfeathering buttons, as you can see, you can click and release, so you don't have to hold them down in Flight Sim, even though normally in real life you would. In real life, they'd be just like the start, fuel, and rich switches, which, as you can see, are spring-loaded. So next we're going to verify that our battery select switch, which is over here next to the fuel counter, is in the correct position for this start. It's very warm out, so we're just going to do a parallel start. If it was really cold, we needed some extra cranking power, we do a series start. But most starts are done in parallel. So that's set there. So what we're going to do is the NTS check, just like the Conquest, with the exception of the lights and how they work. So in the Conquest, you had a separate light for NTS check and beta range. In the MU2, the beta range light serves both purposes. So if we test our indicator lights down here on the center, you'll see LH beta range, RH beta range. So those beta range lights, when the engines are running, run just like they do in the Conquest to show you when you're in the beta range. And but on start, they're your NTS check lights. So same rules apply that did in the Conquest. We should be able to push down the unfeathering button like so. We get a light. As soon as we press the starter, the light goes out, and that light should come back on above 20%. And the failure parameters are if it doesn't come back on at all, if it comes on too early, etc., etc. That'll be in the manual. But so that is the same. I just wanted to clarify that because I know that confused one or two of our testers in terms of what that light was actually supposed to be doing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this engine started. And of course, after we engage the starter, we're looking for good prop rotation. We're looking for acceleration 1% per second at a minimum. Fuel flow, light off, EGT, and we're watching for the hot start. So, unfeathering button down, we have our beta light, and now we're going to engage the starter and monitor the start. Good NTS check. Starter cut out. Good start on the right side. Right generator reset and on. Below 100 amps. That looks good. We can come over and start the left engine, move the air start and save switch over to the left side. We're ready to start that left engine, so let's go down here to the panel. Air start and save switch is good on the left side. Unfeather, and I'll hit the starter and jump over out the window so you can see the good prop rotation we're looking for. Here we go, starting on the left side. Good prop rotation. Acceleration. Fuel flow, ignition. Now you can see the starter is still engaged because the left engine start button is illuminated. Good start on the left side. Air start and save switch can go to the air start and save position in the middle. Left generator reset and on. Inverter can come on. All our switches on the overhead are checked. They look good. At this point, if you want, you can turn on the fast seatbelt, no smoking signs if you'd like to. Go ahead and reset our master warning. Turn on our avionics. Get our cabin air and our mode selector here set. GTN 750 is coming up. We're going to take the radar, move that to standby. Might need it on this trip.
TOS system test. Okay.
And that's our engine start video. That's how you bring the MU-2 up to life. Very important though, after engine start, make sure that you take the fuel transfer switches and move them up to auto. And at that point, you can go ahead and set the flaps for departure. So move them down to the 20 position, let them run. Go ahead and set the pitch trim. Move that to the green takeoff index line. And start lock removal, I'll demonstrate real quick. Most of you guys understand this already, but we'll go ahead and take the engines off the start locks. Now we're off the start locks and ready to taxi. Alright, so next video I'll show you the takeoff and climb procedures. And that should be published now as well, so you should be able to find that in the related video list on the right. And I'll see you in the next video. Joe, Flysimware Simulation Software. Fly safe, everybody.